Hey, what's up everybody, BDO44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so, I don't think this is a playoff thoughts video. Obviously, we got a game on Thursday, we'll talk about that. This ain't got nothing to do with the game itself. I just I don't know. I woke up looking at some things back to back and seeing people's reaction to it and just kind of feeling a little uncomfortable about it. And let me explain. So there's footage going around, nothing serious, nothing controversial at all. It's AD in a club, listening to some music, rapping some lyrics, minding his business, having a good time, enjoying his off season. Couldn't be more happy to see it. Another footage I saw, LeBron James at somebody's wedding. I don't know if it was his friend's wedding or if he crashed the wedding. It said that he crashed the wedding. I don't care. Looked like he was having an amazing time. He was having fun, dancing, laughing, jumping around. In the comment section of the AD video, people were talking about his health and how he should be working out and how he's supposed to be in the gym at like literally 11:30 at night when he's in a club or something. I don't know. People think athletes are supposed to live and breathe the game even when it ain't no game to play. And in the LeBron's comment section, I didn't necessarily check the comment section itself, but it just said he had crashed the wedding. And I'm like, how y'all know that's not his friend's wedding? How do you know that's not a family member's wedding? How you know that's not, a good associate's wedding? Like, not to say that it couldn't have crashed it, but it's just the point, like, I looked at LeBron, he was having a good time, but it's like I remember the tweet that he said about a couple weeks ago about feeling alone. Sometimes you want to be alone, but it's amazing how you feel alone when you're somebody like him who's known by everybody, who's probably never physically alone. It's one of those situations where I just look at it and I say, wow, man, I really value my privacy. I really value just not having that as a part of my world. When I'm on this camera and I speak on whatever I speak on, after I turn off the camera, I have the luxury of not having nobody bother me. And that's not something that really I'd imagine is what comes with success. And that's a part of success, and that's not something I desire at all. Someone picking apart a 3-minute, not even 3-minute, 10-second clip of me rapping some lyrics, enjoying myself, and people saying all kinds of negative stuff about how I am professionally and how they perceive me as a person. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you people? Can't that man just rap some rap lyrics at a concert and enjoy himself? I mean, it's one of those situations where I don't relate to being in their tax bracket or knowing what it's like to have that type of money. But I would imagine something gets taken from that experience of being rich and famous when you don't get to enjoy the simple things in life, like going to a club and singing some rap lyrics, or being at a wedding and being able to enjoy yourself without the exaggerated, attention on it. Now, granted, maybe they're wired in such a way to enjoy or appreciate or not be affected by the attention. So I don't assume that I would take it on the same way as they take it, given that they've lived their lives as they have, being famous for as long as they have. So I'm sure it's a different point of view, even though I consider the attention, it's not the same. But as I perceive it, just the same, at some point it becomes too much. At some point it's like, God damn, can I just go to a club and rap, fam? Can I just go to a movie theater and sit down? Can I go to a grocery store and buy something? Can I just go to the bank or something? Like, these are the things, man. And I think about that, and it's just like, I want to be the type of consumer that doesn't need that from my athletes. I more so value you doing what you do on the court, taking the time that you've set aside for yourself to meet your own goals as it pertains to your body. And then, as a fan, I can say, okay, is that satisfactory to me or not? If not, we could talk about it to that degree. Maybe I'm going crazy, want you off my team, and I'll speak on that, and that's it. But as far as saying, yo, he is, as I identify, this or that or the third because he's dancing and enjoying himself, or look at that guy, let me annoy him on his off day enjoying himself at a wedding because he is who he is, and that's all we can do with ourselves. It's like, I want to live in a world where that is not necessarily the case, where we can enjoy celebrities and value their privacy, or we can still get as much from them as we need while not taking too much from them. You know what I mean? We need to get to a point where we're not allowing celebrities to live in a world that's, only wide enough for them to reach the walls with each arm. You understand what I mean by that? When the world is closing in on them to such a degree that they can't even sit down on a toilet without thinking somebody's looking through their window, that needs to stop. I grew up in a world where all of my favorite celebrities and athletes were crushed more or less, or had to fend off the pressure of that type of fame. All of my favorite guys. Some of them were wired to handle it. Others crumbled underneath of it. Others didn't even survive it very long. All I'm saying is, I want the people that I appreciate to live in a world that doesn't suck for them. That's part of what it is that I'm about. And that's a weird thing to care about, because there's so many people living in poverty, including myself, people who are living in situations that are worse. Why would you care about someone who's doing greater? That makes no sense in a lot of people's eyes, but I think there needs to be a lane for that. Not necessarily empathizing with those who have so much, but more or less understanding that they have problems too. And that the value of being rich and famous is devalued by the fact that they can't seem to enjoy it from person to person to person to person. Why am I dreaming about being famous when I realize their lives suck worse than mine as it pertains to just what they take in? Maybe they're able to do more as it pertains to buy this, buy that, buy this. Maybe they're able to use their voice and impact more, because when I'm speaking, nobody's listening. But the world they're in still is not an enjoyable one, because of our need to take so much from them, and the middleman, media, and all surrounding parties need to exploit them to benefit themselves off of our dollar and attention. So this is where I'm at. I'm a consumer that wants to put that seed in the world and say, yo, I don't know if I'll ever reach the type of success that I'm talking about. I won't put it out there to say yes or no. But what I will say is, I don't desire what comes with that. No, sir. No, ma'am. I don't want anything to do with that type of world where I can't go to the grocery store or walk down the street without having the world feel like it's closing in on me, or rap at a wedding, or dance at a club, or whatever the case may be, without people putting their cameras in my face and then having to hear, the random public say whatever, however, forever. It gets to a point where it's like, you also want to remember that a lot of the stuff that's being posted is in infamy. It stays forever. That footage of LeBron James dancing at a wedding, someone's going to be playing that 160 years from now when they look back on LeBron James and goes through all the footage. Maybe there's a crazy, obsessed individual who literally will see everything LeBron does. That footage will be available for him to find. It's like, not to say that there's anything to it, but it's just the point. It's like, when we do everything that we do for today, as it pertains to exploiting the people who are alive today, getting money from people alive today, entertaining the people alive today, you do understand that everything that's being captured is not just for today. This is for the people who are going to see it tomorrow, the people who are going to see it after that, the people who are going to find it 100 million years from now in the cloud somewhere. Everything that we do, including all of our failures, struggles, exploits, it's all being seen. And while this generation views it a certain way, they may view it differently in the future, may take it in differently, may not even understand what it is they're saying. But they'll see so much footage of these people that you exploited, and they will know exactly how you did them. They will know exactly how you did them. I think about people like Michael Jackson, and what fame did to him, and how it didn't enable some of these people to get help for their mental health because of the scheduling, because of the responsibilities, because of the lack of privacy, because of whatever, yes men that are in their lives, because of the overall environment of said things. They ain't maybe get help. I think about a guy like R. Kelly, who literally did not turn himself into a regular person, allowed himself to turn into a monster even further in the machine that he was in, that basically enabled him to be whatever he wanted to be musically. He can come out with I Believe I Can Fly and then Sex on this or that in the same album, and nobody even shook their head at him. Like, this dude was enabled to become exactly what he became. And then they exploited his sins and his exploits and his evil ways. And made money off of that too, just like they did made money off his music, made money off his trial. I mean, it's like, no matter what you got going on, whether good or bad, choices don't matter. The machine will exploit you when you're in that position. And that's why I applaud guys like LeBron James, who've been able to skate around that without having so much controversy. To have that type of, attention on him all life long, and just not necessarily find himself in some really wacky, uncomfortable, exploits, basically. So I applaud him. And as far as AD, man, I just want AD to be able to enjoy his offseason, bro. I get angry with some of the stuff that I see. You know, it's like, why are you calling this man a lame and a phony and all this weird stuff just because he didn't have a healthy season for your basketball team? Now he can't rap in a club. Now he's corny because he's rapping in a club. Let that man live, bro. If people were looking at you when you did all that you do, when you out and about enjoying yourself, and then exploited it, attached it to your professionalism or how you're supposed to handle certain things that are important, you would be unhappy. You would definitely feel negatively, and you'd want somebody to speak up on that. So that's what I just came here to do today, man. I got my flaws. Y'all see this hairline. I ain't perfect at all. And I think that's the point. It's like none of us are perfect. We walk around like we expect others to be perfect. We walk around like we have expectations for athletes. I think of the pressures that are placed upon, you know, a lot of the female entertainers. Do this, be this way, put that on, do that, have this done. And I think of how it's going to look later on and different things. It's like we're so caught up in trying to please everybody around us today, everyone alive today. The world we're in is the only world there is, and maybe a little bit of history that we could choose to remember. But that is not what we're setting up for. That's not what we're actually doing. Everybody's self-absorbed, but the things that they're doing is bigger than them because it's all on camera to be seen forever. Unlike any other generation who's ever lived on this earth, everything we got going on will be seen by everybody who comes after us. You understand what I'm saying? So we're very important people, man. I don't even know if other generations will do this. Maybe they'll turn the cameras off. We might be the only generation that does this. We need to be very careful about how we are seen. We need to be careful about how we look at each other because we're setting the tone for what comes next, not only directly, but whoever finds the cloud a million years from now. You understand what I'm saying? This is real. All of this is going to be saved. All of it. So try to treat people better, man. I was looking at some things. I don't want to get too far out of the conversation, but it's still the same thing. Exploits. Prayers for everyone affected by what took place in Uvalde. I know a lot of the funerals of today, my prayers are continuing there. But, you know, it's just like the coverage, you know. They're interviewing children who've been through traumatic experiences over and over and over again to revisit those traumatic experiences. That's not what we need. We don't need to be having that. That's not what we should be doing. That's not how you acknowledge mental health. That's not how you protect children. You don't have them up there speaking about trauma right after trauma happens. You have to go get them to get some help, overcome that over time, then reconvene 3 years later and have them talk about that stuff. Have them hop on Oprah 4 or 5 years later. That's how you should do things like this. And they don't got no kid talking a week later after something like that and he's describing you all kinds of horrible stuff. We're not respecting these kids' mental health. We're not respecting the overall understanding that this is an example we're setting for future generations. This is not respecting how best to just overall protect one another from the ills that are out here. We are too quick to enable the world to remain the way that it is when we know certain things are not helpful for us at all. But we keep just doing it. We keep just going along with it. We keep wanting the same things. And as I talk to you guys, I repeat, there is a middleman that will exploit that because of our wants. The consumer must adjust his wants, or the world we're in is going to continue to be this way in various ways. And I think I live to say I want it to evolve. We don't have to stop what we're doing. We just got to get better at it. We don't have to turn the cameras off. We just got to be more responsible with them. We don't have to stop talking to kids. We just got to make sure we get better at learning how to help them through trauma. Make sure that they get time to process before you start rupturing and ripping off those band-aids. That is not how to do it. So all of that ties in, man. I just want the media itself, and including myself, anyone talking heads, to be mindful of all that I've said here. I want athletes to be able to have their off season free of the stress and strain of whatever the hell I think about it. And I think that's pretty much what I'm here to say, man. My name is BDF44. Thank you all for watching. I'm out.